Hello from the land of TV. This is King Cool. Welcome to the penalty box. I took too long and now I'm paying for it. Today, I'm reviewing Gia, the 1998 HBO biopic with Angelina Jolie. This might sound like a surprising choice for the penalty box, but longtime watchers, by which I mean people who watched that one video in March, will know I tried to watch Gia and then I turned it off after the first half an hour before, I gave up on it. I put it in the penalty box so I could make myself finish it, and lo and behold, I drew it. So there you are. I've been sitting on the disc for over a week now, and I finally forced myself to watch it on the only day I figured I'd have time. I bought chicken fingers for lunch. I stayed in the air conditioning, just trying to be as comfortable as possible to try to get through this. I start back from the beginning of the movie, and I'm kind of glad I did, since I didn't remember a lot of what happened. I clearly underestimated this movie, but now I know why I turned it off in the first place. It combines two things I can't stand: phony based on a true story movies, and Angelina Jolie. Here's a good rule of thumb when you're making a movie about someone or something that's real. Give the script to someone who's never heard of the real people, or take the names out and change them if they're too recognizable, like if John Adams or something. If they wouldn't find it interesting, then you have more work to do. You can't just make it true and then make it interesting. "But King," I hear you say, "it's based on a true story. They're restricted by what actually happened to the real person. They can't just make stuff up." That's true. But then why is every scene filled with phony-ass, cute, and extra witty dialogue where everyone knows precisely what to say? Is this how it actually happened? Did she really stick gum on the glass of the front door of a modeling agency? Did she really carve her name to the front desk of said agency, and then use that same knife to open a can of Tab? Unrelated. They have Tab at Shop and Stop. I want to try it, but it's only in 6-packs, and I don't know if I want to buy 6 of them if I don't like it. Anyway, this is the same problem I had with The Social Network. I know it's not that I'm in the minority for that movie. I'm basically alone in hating it. It's not bad. I got through it. It was just phony. I may get into that more in detail someday, but not today. What Social Network and Gia had in common is they take the Cliff Notes version of the story and fill it with cliched, overwritten scenes that are quite likely not how they actually went down. If the story is true, I want to know how it actually happened. If you don't have a compelling story to tell, or a new perspective on a real-life tale, don't wrap it around cliched crap and expect it to resonate just because some of us remember who it's based on. It's like describing a dream. No matter how vivid it is to you, if you don't describe it right, nobody will give a crap. The second problem, as I said, is Angelina Jolie herself. I have never liked her in almost anything I've seen her in. Salt was the closest I've come to liking her, and I almost didn't see it because she was in it. Everything else I've seen her in, Tomb Raider, Original Sin, even Kung Fu Panda, she drives me crazy. To me, she is dissonant. Not to get sidetracked, but last year I saw a movie called You Again. It's about the mean girl who ruined Kristen Bell's high school experience getting back into her life. It's a horrible and cruel movie that will be rightfully forgotten. If it wasn't for my own personal appreciation of Kristen Bell, it might have been the worst movie I saw in 2010. I'll pretty much watch anything with Kristen Bell. And Kristen Bell does the opposite thing for me that Angelina Jolie does. Kristen Bell resonates with me. She creates resonance. Angelina Jolie creates dissonance. She causes me to feel bad things just by being on screen. I'll give some other examples with increasing levels of offensiveness. January Jones is beautiful, but with what I've seen of her, her performances have been sort of neutral, so I have nothing against her, but I'd love to see the movie where she gives a great performance. Mila Kunis is hit or miss, and I think that's mostly the direction that she's given. Katie Holmes is superficially beautiful, I guess, but she's never given a performance I've liked, and she tends to stink up good movies like Batman Begins and Thank You for Smoking. Kate Hudson drives me nuts without having to even see the movies, and you can see why if you look at the poster for Bride Wars. And this one's not really a movie star, sort of, but Olivia Munn, I think it's Munn, maybe it's Munn, on The Daily Show drives me nuts. I don't get what she's going for. She's like a female Michael Ian Black, if that makes any sense. And then finally, we have Michelle Rodriguez, who is almost amazingly bad in everything I've seen her in, playing the boring, tough woman character in everything. Remember Jada Pinkett Smith in the Matrix sequels? It's like her, but without all that depth of emotion. Angelina Jolie isn't as bad as Michelle Rodriguez. At least Angie occasionally plays different characters. This time, she just plays a character that's as unlikable and obnoxious as possible. When she's not swearing constantly, which normally doesn't bother me, but here it actually started to, it's not like she swears when she's mad. I think she stops swearing when she's mad. That's weird. When she's not swearing, she says things that I bet are supposed to sound profound, but just make her sound like Luna Lovegood. And then the movie really starts to frustrate me as it descends into screeching drama for no particular reason. Let me be clear about this. If your movie is going to have apoplectic performances, you sure as hell had better earn them. Because there's nothing more frustrating than watching actors try as hard as they can when there's nothing in the material worth putting them through it. Sucker Punch did this, but at least in this movie, I know why she's angry. It's just that I don't care. Pat King, you say? Jolie won a Golden Globe! Yeah, so did Pia Zadora. Don't know who that is? Look it up. Piazadora. Now, one scene, to get specific, one scene has her waking up to hear news about the lady who got her into modeling. It's on the radio when she wakes up, but does anyone else care about this? Why is this news? So she can hear the news in the most contrived way possible, or what? Is this how it really happened? So she goes and visits her, and she's wearing that thing on her head that people with movie cancer wear when they don't want to shave their head. And then she goes home and does heroin, and they find the pipe in her cleavage during a photo shoot, and she and the male model drive off in a motorcycle they were taking pictures of. And then I turned off the movie, and I sent it back. A coworker asked me, when I didn't finish it the first time, if I got to, quote, the good parts, end quote. That says what you need to know right there. This is a vessel to show Angelina Jolie naked, standing out in a hallway. In the scene, with the only line that I actually like, when someone asks her, you don't have any clothes on, and she says, don't change the subject. But even that line is handled rather clumsily. And yes, Angie, please pull your shoulders back just a bit when you talk, so that your breasts jiggle just a bit after your sentence is done. If I had tried to finish this movie, it would have been masochism. And this is from the guy who sat through Disaster Movie, Bangkok Dangerous, Night at the Museum 2, Mummy 3, Yogi Bear, Dr. T and the Women, Marmaduke, Furry Vengeance, Battlefield Earth, and Gulliver's Travels. My buddy's comments about the good parts cuts right to the heart of this movie. This is a movie for showing the willingness of a young actress to get naked. Look up Gia Karangi on Wikipedia. Carangi. Not positive I'm pronouncing that right, but whatever. That one picture of her on Wiki, if it's still there, by when you see this, that one picture of her shows why she was a big deal much better than this. In that one picture, she gives a look that Angelina Jolie wishes she can convey in this movie, but she's nowhere close. This movie is loathsome. It takes the tragic story of a real woman and uses it to trick people into watching bad softcore pornography. And there's no point watching an entire porno. You use it until you're done with it. And I am done with this movie. I'm not going back to this movie. I have been punished enough. Thank you for listening. This is King Cool. Drive home safe.